You should have stopped talking.
I asked one question.
And I gave you an order.
You blocked the wheelchair ramp.
You still don't understand.
Exactly.
Inside, now.
State the charge.
Disorderly conduct.
What conduct?
Talking back.
That is not a crime.
Keep testing me.
Check the folder.
I said move. What's the problem? She won't cooperate.
I requested identification review.
You don't direct this desk. Then do your job. See? Talking back. Put her inside.
Read the seal first.
Enough. You think that folder changes this?
Open it.
Sit down.
Remove your hand.
She's delaying intake.
You are delaying verification. I asked for a ramp to be cleared.
Do not challenge us. And now you're here. Last chance. Sign the report.
It is false.
You shouted. No. You resisted. Everyone saw it.
Then preserve the footage.
You don't make demands. I make a record.
Sergeant, the phone says secure command.
Her camera request should be logged. Stay out of it.
Keep recording.
No one asked you.
It's already running. The speaker just activated.
All personnel, hold position. Prepare for immediate command authority.
Sergeant, look at the name.
Whose name? All sworn personnel, attention.
No, wait.
The handcuffs clicked around the black woman's wrists as Officer Nolan Briggs leaned close. You should have stopped talking. She had only asked why his patrol car blocked a wheelchair ramp. When did a calm question become a crime? Why did every witness look away as the sergeant ordered her inside? Then the station's secure speaker crackled with one command. Chairs scraped back. Every officer snapped to attention, while the woman they had mocked remained cuffed beside the booking desk. Who was she, and why had that order erased every smirk in the room? Stay until the end, because the truth inside her worn leather folder would force an entire department to answer for what happened. The key struck the cuff once, slipped, and rang against the booking desk. Officer Nolan Briggs tried again. His right hand had begun to shake. "Stand by," Sergeant Kyle Mercer snapped, though no one had moved since the command came over the secure speaker. Chairs remained pushed back at odd angles. Boots were planted shoulder-width apart. Even Paige Larkin stood rigid behind the counter, one hand hovering over the property log. Fluorescent lights hummed above them, catching on Lena Whitaker's gold-rimmed glasses. She did not raise her voice. "Remove them carefully." Briggs swallowed. "Yes, ma'am." The title landed harder than the order. He turned the key. One cuff opened. A red mark circled Lena's wrist beneath the old silver military watch. She did not rub it. She reached for the worn brown leather folder beside the evidence tray. Mercer stepped forward. "Commissioner Whitaker, there's been a misunderstanding." Lena studied him. "What part?" His mouth opened, then closed. At the far wall, Rookie Officer Jacob Ellis lowered his eyes toward the blinking red light on his body camera. Its reflection pulsed in the glass partition behind Lena. Chief Samuel Price's voice returned through the speaker. "All personnel remain in place. Deputy Morgan is en route." No report is to be altered, closed, or reassigned. A printer stopped halfway through a page. Briggs removed the second cuff. "I didn't know who you were." Lena folded her hands. "You knew I asked a question." No one answered. Mercer shifted. His rubber sole squeaked against the polished floor. "We responded to resistance." "Did you?" Ellis's fingers tightened against the seam of his trousers. Mercer noticed. "Officer Ellis." The young man looked up. "Do not speculate." Lena turned toward him. "I didn't ask him to." That ended it. Rapid heels sounded in the hallway. A woman in a charcoal suit entered with a tablet pressed to her chest. Tessa Morgan, 38, Lena's deputy for the public safety transition, had crossed the building so quickly that a strand of dark hair had come loose near her cheek. She stopped when she saw Lena's wrists. "Ma'am?" "I'm all right." Tessa's gaze moved to the property tray. "Your secure phone registered here 17 minutes ago. We called twice." Paige's face drained of color. "Those calls were flagged as outside interference." "By whom?" Tessa asked. Mercer answered too quickly. "By me." The ventilation fan clicked on. Dry air lifted the corner of a damp speech card protruding from Lena's folder. Water stains blurred 2 lines written for her father's memorial. Lena saw them. For the first time, her composure shifted. Only her thumb pressed flat against the ruined card. "What time is it?" Tessa checked the screen. 6:28. The ceremony had started 8 minutes earlier. Lena closed the folder. "My mother is waiting at the west entrance." Chief Price appeared in the doorway, breathless, his overcoat unbuttoned. He took in the room, the open cuffs, the silent officers. "Commissioner, I can explain." Lena faced him. "Then begin with why a wheelchair ramp was blocked." Price's eyes flicked toward Briggs. That single glance told her the answer would be longer than the arrest. 90 minutes earlier, Lena Whitaker stood in her mother's kitchen and turned a porcelain cup so its handle faced left. Eleanor reached with her left hand before the stiffness settled into her fingers. "You're fussing," Eleanor said. "I'm arranging breakfast." "You've arranged that toast 3 times. Lena checked the clock. 4:52 p.m. Cold November light stretched across the linoleum, and the radiator knocked twice before going quiet. Eleanor rolled forward in her wheelchair, a burgundy shawl around her shoulders. Her silver hair was pinned in the neat twist Lena remembered. Her eyes moved to the brown leather folder beside Lena's coat. "You brought official papers to your father's ceremony?" "They're for afterward." "Then keep them closed." "That was the plan." Eleanor lifted the toast. "Your plans used to involve maps and 3 backup routes. Today I have one. The west entrance at 5:45. I'll meet you there, take you to the first row, and keep Reverend Cole from adding 20 minutes. Your father liked long speeches. He liked giving them." The kettle clicked off. Lena poured hot water over tea leaves, and lemon rose in the steam. From the folder, she removed an old photograph. Harold Whitaker in grease-stained work clothes, Eleanor beside him in a pale dress, both squinting outside the city garage. The corners had softened almost to cloth. Lena pressed one edge flat with her thumb. "He would have complained about the plaque," Eleanor said. "He would have measured whether it was level. And brought his own wrench." Lena exhaled. "I rewrote the last paragraph." "Again?" "Once." 4 times. She returned the card to the folder. Beneath it lay an appointment order, a command credential, and a 6:30 briefing schedule. "You still haven't told the department?" Eleanor asked. "The transition team knows. The chief knows. Public announcement is tonight." "And the officers?" "They meet their commissioner after the memorial." Eleanor lowered her cup. "You could have had a driver, worn the dress uniform." "But I came in the old Navy coat." The old coat hung by the door with one polished button that never matched. Her father had replaced it after she lost the original. "He fixed that button before my first promotion board," Lena said. "I remember. He put it on crooked. He said perfect things made people careless. Tires hissed over damp pavement. The room smelled of tea and cedar polish." Lena checked her silver watch. 5:07. "I need to review the entrance. Marisol will bring you at 5:40. Eleanor caught her sleeve. "No calls once I arrive." Lena covered her mother's hand. "No calls. You promised that at his funeral." "I know. You answered 3. I was commanding 6,000 people. Tonight you're my daughter." Lena held her gaze. "Tonight I'm your daughter." Eleanor released her. "And the speech?" "You'll hear every word." Lena put on the navy coat, slid the folder under her arm, and paused at a framed photograph by the door. Harold looked stern until one noticed the grease pencil behind his ear. She touched the frame once. At 5:18, Lena stepped into the cold, unaware that the only route she had promised to keep clear was already being blocked. At 5:31, Lena turned onto Mercer Street and saw the patrol car before she saw the Memorial Hall. It sat diagonally across the west entrance, one rear wheel on the painted access lane and its bumper near the curb cut. Cold rain stippled the windshield. Beyond it, a blue wheelchair sign was half hidden by the car's shadow. 3 officers stood beneath the stone awning with paper cups. "Excuse me," Lena said. The broad-shouldered officer nearest the car kept talking. "If Price wants extra coverage, he can approve overtime." Another officer laughed into his coffee. Lena waited. "Officer, is this your vehicle?" He glanced at her navy coat and the folder under her arm. His badge read, "Nolan Briggs." "It's a police vehicle. It's blocking the only wheelchair entrance. The front doors are open. The front entrance has 12 steps. Then staff can help." Rain tapped faster against the handrail. Lena moved 1 step closer, but kept several feet between them. "My mother arrives in 14 minutes. Please move the car." Briggs drank slowly. "We're handling security." "You can do that from a legal space." The youngest officer shifted his cup. A red light blinked on his body camera, then vanished when he pressed it. Briggs saw Lena watching. "Something else?" "Your badge number, please." "You can read my name." "I asked for the number." The glass doors opened. Warm air carrying floor wax and burnt coffee spilled onto the ramp. A woman in a gray raincoat stepped out with rolled plans against her chest. She was 32, with blunt black hair tucked behind one ear and a yellow measuring tape looped through her bag. She looked from the car to the access sign. "That vehicle cannot stay there." Briggs turned. "And you are?" "Mia Chen. I designed the renovation." "Then you know police can use the loading area." "That isn't the loading area." Mia pointed to the white diagonal lines beneath the tire. "Those markings keep the ramp clear." Briggs's partner lowered his cup. "Nolan, we could move it around back." Briggs ignored him. "We'll move it when we're finished." "With what?" Lena asked. The rain nearly swallowed the question. Briggs stepped from the awning. Water darkened his shoulders. "You don't supervise police business." "I'm asking you to clear an entrance before an elderly woman arrives." Mia checked her phone. "The accessible shuttle is due at 5:45. "Put that away," Briggs said. "I'm checking the schedule." "I said put it away." Mia lowered the phone but did not pocket it. Inside, volunteers arranged programs on a table. One looked toward the ramp, saw Lena facing the officers, and returned to folding paper. The automatic door opened and closed behind him with a soft hydraulic sigh. Lena checked her silver watch. 5:36. She could call Tessa. One message would bring a supervisor and an apology before Eleanor reached the block. Her thumb touched the secure phone inside her coat. Then she let her hand fall. "Officer Briggs, I am asking one final time. Move the vehicle." His paper cup crumpled beneath his fingers. "Or what?" At the corner, the accessible shuttle appeared, its amber roof light flashing through the rain. The shuttle's amber light swept across the wet pavement as it turned toward the curb. Briggs did not look back. "Move along." "The vehicle is blocking the ramp," Lena said. "I heard you." "Then move it." His jaw tightened. The crushed cup dropped beside his boot, bleeding coffee into rainwater. Behind the glass doors, 2 volunteers stopped arranging programs. The shuttle braked with a hiss. Through its fogged window, Lena saw Eleanor's burgundy shawl and silver hair. "Officer, my mother is on that bus." "You've been told to leave." "I have a right to ask for access to a public building." "You have a right to stop interfering." Mia raised her phone. "I'm recording." Briggs pointed at her. "Stay back." His partner murmured, "Nolan, just move the unit." Briggs turned. "I've got it." The shuttle door folded open. Diesel air mixed with wet wool. The driver leaned out. "Ramp's blocked. I need curb cut." Lena indicated the patrol car. "That is what I have been explaining." Briggs watched her hand. "Put your arm down." She did. "Step away. I'm 6 feet from it. Now." Lena moved back, her boot scraping a painted stripe. The folder slipped, and she caught it against her hip. Briggs pressed his radio. "Dispatch, start a disturbance call at the west entrance." Mia stared at him. "She asked you to move a car. Do not involve yourself." She asked twice. Jacob Ellis stood beneath the awning, his body camera glowing red. Lena saw him glance toward Briggs. "Officer Ellis, is your camera recording?" Briggs answered. "You don't question my officers." "I asked him." Ellis opened his mouth. "Jacob," Briggs warned. The shuttle driver lowered the lift into the street. Metal joints groaned. Eleanor appeared behind him, gripping the armrest as the chair tilted on the uneven surface. Lena stepped toward her. Briggs caught her wrist. "Don't!" The world narrowed to rain ticking on the hood, the lift motor straining, the automatic doors sighing behind them. "Release my wrist," Lena said. "You're being detained." "For what reason?" "Disorderly conduct." "Describe the conduct." "You keep talking back." Mia's phone trembled. "That is not a crime." Briggs guided Lena's arm behind her with practiced certainty. The leather folder slid free, struck the pavement, and opened. A cream-colored speech card skated across the concrete. It landed face down. Inside the shuttle, Eleanor called, "Lena?" Lena closed her eyes for half a second. "I'm here, Mama." One cuff clicked, then the other. Cold steel pressed beneath her silver watch. "Officer Briggs, check the folder." "You can explain downtown. It contains identification." "Everyone says that." A volunteer cracked the door open, saw the cuffs, and let it close. Mia moved toward the folder. "Back up," Briggs ordered. She stopped, but kept recording. The lift touched the street with a metallic clank. Eleanor's chair could not cross the pooled water or reach the curb through the patrol car. She sat 10 yards away, watching her daughter stand handcuffed beside the entrance built for her. Briggs guided Lena toward the cruiser. As they passed the fallen card, a tire sprayed muddy water across the first line of the speech she had promised to read. Muddy water spread across the speech card as Briggs opened the cruiser's rear door. "Watch your head," his partner said. "I know what I'm doing." Lena stopped beside the seat. "My mother needs access to the building." Briggs tightened his grip above her elbow. "Your mother is not my concern." Across the lane, Eleanor sat on the shuttle platform in her burgundy shawl. The portable ramp ended against the patrol car's rear panel. Mia kept her phone raised. "The reason this started is still blocking her." "Step back," Briggs said. "I am back." Further. Mia moved 1 pace, splashing through a puddle. The timer passed 2 minutes. Jacob Ellis came down from the awning. The red light on his body camera blinked against the wet glass doors. "Officer Briggs, the ramp is blocked." Briggs turned. "You taking her side?" "I'm stating what the camera shows." "Then control the witness." Lena looked at Jacob. "Keep it recording." Briggs pushed her toward the seat. "You don't give orders here." She lowered herself without resisting. Cold vinyl pressed through her trousers. The cruiser smelled of damp fabric and disinfectant. Eleanor called, "Lena, what happened?" "Stay with the driver. Don't try the steps." "I'm not leaving you." "I know." Briggs slammed the door. The sound cracked through the rain. A second patrol vehicle turned onto Mercer Street, lights sliding across the pavement. Sergeant Kyle Mercer stepped out, 48, broad-chested, with a gray mustache. He pulled on black gloves. What do we have? Non-compliant subject. Interfered with security. Refused directives. Escalated when detained. Mia said, "That is false." Mercer looked at her phone. "Are you involved?" "I watched it." "Then you're a witness, not a commentator." She asked him to move the car. Mercer turned to Jacob. "Body camera?" "Active, Sergeant." "Physical resistance?" "No, sir." Briggs cut in. She refused to disengage. "That isn't physical resistance," Jacob said. The shuttle motor hummed. Mercer studied him. "Officer Ellis, clear these people back." "The scene is secure." "Then make yourself useful." Jacob's fingers flexed near his belt, but he did not move toward Mia. Mercer crouched by the open folder. The appointment order lay beneath the damp speech pages, an official seal visible at one corner. "My identification is inside," Lena called through the glass. Mercer glanced at Briggs. "Did you check?" "No need yet." Mercer opened the cover halfway. The top page stuck to his glove, exposing embossed lettering before he folded it shut. "Process it at the station." "You saw the seal." "I saw wet paper." The shuttle driver called. "Sergeant, I still can't unload my passenger." Mercer looked at the car, then at guests gathering behind the doors. "Move the unit after transport." "It would take 30 seconds now," Jacob said. Mercer's expression hardened. "Finish what you started." Briggs slid behind the wheel. His partner entered with Lena's folder on his lap. As the cruiser pulled away, Mia stepped into the access lane and kept filming. In the glass doors, Jacob's red camera light blinked twice, then vanished when Mercer reached toward his chest. The cruiser's rear compartment amplified every vibration in the road. Lena sat upright, cuffed hands resting against the plastic divider. Rain smeared the memorial hall into gray bands behind them. "My folder is on the front seat," she said. Briggs kept his eyes ahead. "We know. It contains government identification. Check it before you file anything." His partner, Officer Dean Rusk, glanced at the worn leather cover beside his knee. "Leave it closed," Briggs said. Rusk's fingers stopped. The heater blew air that smelled of dust and old coffee. Beneath it came a muted buzz from the clear property pouch in the console. Lena's secure phone lit once, then went dark. "You have a call," Rusk said. "She gets one at booking." "It may confirm who I am," Lena said. Briggs tightened both hands on the wheel. "You're not special because your phone keeps ringing. The documents are relevant to your decision." At the next light, Rusk looked toward Briggs. "Could save us trouble." The trouble started when she refused to disengage. "I stepped back when ordered. You kept arguing. I asked a question." The light changed. Tires hissed over wet asphalt. At 5:58, Mercer's voice came through the radio. "Unit 12, status." Briggs pressed the button. "Transporting one adult female. Disorderly conduct. Possible obstruction." "There was no obstruction," Lena said. Mercer answered. "Add refusal to comply. We'll make the narrative consistent at intake." Rusk turned toward the speaker. Lena leaned forward as far as the belt allowed. "Officer Rusk, did you hear that?" Briggs struck the steering wheel with his palm. "Stop interviewing my partner." "I'm preserving what was said." The phone buzzed again. Through the pouch, the screen showed Tessa Morgan before dimming. Rusk read the name. "Same caller. Do not answer it." They entered Central Precinct's underground bay at 6:04. Fluorescent light washed the concrete walls. The cruiser stopped beside a steel door. Briggs opened the rear compartment. Out. Lena planted one boot on the wet floor. Cold had settled beneath her coat sleeves. Inside booking, Paige Larkin, 31, sat behind a scratched counter with a pencil through her auburn bun. She looked up from a crossword. Charge? Disorderly and refusal, Briggs said. Page slid him a form. Supervisor approval? Mercer's coming. A tall lieutenant crossed the corridor carrying 2 files. Dana Holt, 42, moved with the clipped pace of someone already late. What's this? Routine intake, Briggs said. Lena met her eyes. Lieutenant, my identification is in that folder. Dana slowed. Mercer entered behind them, rain darkening his shoulders. Lieutenant, we have it handled. You verified her identity? Dana asked. Page will. Page reached for the folder, but Mercer placed one gloved hand over it. Log property first. Review later. Dana studied him, then the cuffs. Why later? We're documenting conduct, not credentials. The phone vibrated again inside the pouch. This time, a red banner appeared. Secure command call. Page saw it. Mercer turned the pouch face down. Booker, he said. Dinah Holt looked once at Lena's silver watch, then kept walking. I won't sign that. Lena stood at the booking counter while Paige Larkin held out the report. The paper smelled of toner and damp wool. Under incident summary, Briggs had written that Lena shouted, blocked officers, and resisted arrest. You can dispute it later, Page said. There is no space for a dispute. Initial here and request a correction. I will not certify a false account. Mercer leaned against the counter, rainwater dripping from his coat onto the gray tile. Whatever you think is in that folder, you still follow procedure. Lena's wrists were cuffed in front now. The metal had warmed, but the ache beneath her silver watch had sharpened. My statement is simple. I asked an officer to clear an accessible entrance. I stepped back when ordered. I did not shout, threaten, touch anyone, or obstruct anything. Briggs gave a dry laugh. You kept interfering. By standing 6 feet away? By refusing to stop. Stop what? He looked toward Mercer. Page tapped the body camera field. Was footage uploaded? Pending, Mercer said. Officer Ellis's camera was active, Lena replied. Mercer's eyes hardened. You do not direct this desk. I am identifying evidence. Dana Holt's heels clicked somewhere down the corridor, then faded toward the elevators. No one called her back. Page opened the worn leather folder. A damp speech card clung to the cover. Beneath it lay a cream document bearing a raised blue seal and the words, City of Belhoven. Her pencil stopped. What? Briggs asked. Nothing. Page lowered the cover. You saw the seal, Lena said. Read the name. Mercer pushed the folder into a plastic property bin. Later. The fluorescent tube overhead flickered. A drain gurgled behind the holding rooms. The air carried industrial cleanser and coffee burned onto a warmer. Page returned the report. Last chance. Lena folded her cuffed hands. Write this. Detainee disputes the report in full and requests immediate preservation of all video, audio, dispatch, and access control records. Briggs scoffed. She's dictating now. Page looked to Mercer. He tapped the unsigned line. Refusal noted. Temporary holding until she decides to cooperate. What charge authorizes that? Lena asked. You can ask counsel. I asked you. Mercer took the form. I'm done answering. Briggs guided her through a magnetic door. It released with a heavy click, then sealed behind them. Cold air moved along the narrow corridor between glass partitions. At the last room, he unlocked the cuffs. Sit. The room held a narrow metal bench, a scratched table, and a camera dome in one corner. Lena stepped inside. Briggs rubbed the key between his fingers. Maybe quiet will help. It would have helped outside. His hand stopped. The door closed. Cold seeped through the bench, through her trousers, into her spine. The bench gave a small metallic groan beneath her. Lena set both feet flat and listened. A printer feeding paper, Mercer's low voice, the steady buzz of lights. Beyond the glass, Paige lifted the folder again. The blue seal caught the fluorescent glare. Her thumb rested beneath the printed name, Lena Whittaker. Then Mercer entered, and she closed it. The lock clicked behind Briggs, and the cold settled deeper into the room. Through the glass, Paige held Lena's phone while Mercer stood beside her. "It has rung 6 times, Paige said. "Silence it." "The screen says secure command." "It says a lot of things." Lena approached the glass. "Sergeant, I am entitled to 1 call." "You refused intake." "I refused a false statement." Paige checked the wall clock. 6:14. "Policy allows 1 voicemail before placement." Mercer frowned. 1 message. No callback. Briggs returned, opened the slot, and set the phone on the shelf outside the glass. He selected the newest voicemail. "Speaker only." Static crackled. Then Eleanor's voice filled the room. "Lena, honey, I'm at the west entrance. The ceremony has started. They said they can't bring the chair up the steps, and the side door is locked." Lena's fingers closed around the shelf. Behind Eleanor, a microphone squealed. Someone asked her to move away from the entrance. "I told them you were coming," she continued. "I know you wouldn't miss this. I just don't know where you are." "Mama," Lena whispered. "Your father's picture is on the program. They used the one with the wrench behind his ear. You would have laughed." Briggs looked away. "Please call me. I'm still waiting." A door closed in the message. Then nothing. Lena reached toward the phone. Briggs pulled it back. 1 message. "Let me call her." Sergeant said no. "She is 73 and outside in the rain." Mercer stepped into view. "You'll have access after processing." "You delayed processing. Because you would not cooperate. My mother cannot climb 12 steps. That is not a booking issue." Paige's pencil stopped above the property log. Lena's voice became quieter. "It became one when your officer blocked the only ramp." Mercer took the phone and returned it to the clear pouch. "Sit down." For several seconds, Lena remained at the glass. The ventilation fan pushed cold air along the floor, carrying the sharp smell of disinfectant. Faint applause drifted from beyond the corridor. She turned away. Her leather folder had been placed on the bench. The edges were wet. Lena opened it across her knees and separated the speech cards. The first had absorbed muddy water. Ink from the final paragraph had bled into pale blue veins. She pressed it flat with both palms. "My father fixed city trucks for 38 years, she said. "He never let an access lift leave the garage broken." No one answered. Lena tried to read the opening line. Her lips moved, but no sound came. She adjusted her glasses and tried again. The words blurred. Her shoulders lowered by less than an inch. She covered her mouth and bent over the card so the officers beyond the glass could not see her face. Paige saw. She stepped toward the intercom, but Mercer's reflection appeared behind her. "Leave her." Lena lowered her hand. She smoothed the card, folded it along the old crease, and slid it beneath the appointment order they still had not read. The cold bench groaned as she sat back. Beyond the wall, the secure phone lit again. This time, the screen displayed Tessa Morgan and a live location request. At 6:16, Tessa Morgan watched Lena's location marker stop moving inside Central Precinct. The command room was nearly empty, its glass walls reflecting blue map light and vacant chairs. Tessa, 38, Lena's deputy for the public safety transition, still wore the charcoal suit chosen for the evening announcement. One strand of dark hair had slipped loose beside her cheek. "She should have been here 6 minutes ago," she said. Omar Bell looked up from the secure console. "Her device is active. Call it again." A green ring pulsed around the stationary dot. No answer. Tessa dialed booking. Paige Larkin answered on the 4th tone. "Central booking. This is Tessa Morgan. Locate Lena Whitaker immediately." "Is this regarding a detainee?" "It concerns the owner of a secure command device inside your building." Paige glanced toward the clear property pouch. "We cannot release information without authorization. Read the priority code on your screen." Mercer stepped beside her and took the receiver. "This is Sergeant Mercer. Outside pressure will not change an active booking." Tessa straightened. "Check the identification in the brown leather folder." "We are following procedure." "Have you checked it?" The command room vents hissed through the pause. "The subject refused to cooperate," Mercer said. "What is her full name?" "We do not discuss detainees." The line went dead. Tessa called again. Paige answered quickly. "Please stop calling," she whispered. "Is Lena safe?" "I can't." Mercer spoke behind her. The call ended. Omar enlarged the map. The dot sat beneath the east wing, directly under temporary holding. "That room blocks ordinary signals. Her phone is using the emergency beacon." "Would she trigger it?" 3 unanswered secure calls can activate location protection. The wall clock changed to 6:19. Tessa opened the transition roster. One name appeared above every division: Commissioner Lena Whitaker, effective 6 p.m. "She has been commissioner for 19 minutes, Omar said, "and they will not tell me whether she is in handcuffs." Tessa called Chief Samuel Price. He answered over street noise. "I'm entering the memorial hall. Can this wait?" "No. Lena missed the briefing. Her secure phone is inside Central Precinct, and booking has refused 2 identity checks." Price stopped walking. The background murmur faded. "Who has her?" "They won't say." "Did you identify yourself?" "Twice." Tessa sent him the location screen, appointment order, and failed call log. 3 delivery marks appeared. Price's breathing changed. "I'll contact Mercer." "Use recorded command channels, not his personal phone." "Tessa, if they detained her, every second matters." Across town, Lena sat on the metal bench while her phone glowed inside the property pouch. Paige watched the screen fill with a protected verification notice. Mercer reached to turn it face down. This time, Paige covered the pouch with her hand. "Sergeant, the name on the folder matches the appointment order." Mercer looked at her fingers, then toward the glass room. The station speaker gave a single warning tone. Tessa had opened the command channel. The warning tone sounded again. Every conversation in Central Precinct stopped. Paige lifted her hand from the property pouch. Mercer turned toward the ceiling speaker. A calm voice came through. "This is Tessa Morgan. All personnel will hold position and preserve every report, recording, and property entry connected to Lena Whitaker." Briggs stepped away from the desk. Mercer pressed the intercom. "Command, this is Sergeant Mercer. We have an unresolved identity issue." "There is no identity issue," Tessa replied. "Chief Price is transmitting protected verification now." A printer beside Paige started by itself. The first carried the city seal. The second showed Lena's photograph, appointment authority, and effective time, 6 p.m. Paige read the top line twice. "Oh, God!" Mercer took the pages. His eyes moved down the document, slowed, then returned to the name. Inside the holding room, Lena stood. The door remained locked. Tessa continued. "All sworn personnel will prepare for the formal entry of the Bellhaven Police Commissioner. Stand at attention on my command." Briggs looked at Mercer. "You said the folder could wait." Not now. You saw the seal. Officer, be quiet. Jacob Ellis appeared at the corridor entrance, rain dark on his uniform. His camera blinked red. Mercer pointed at it. Why is that still recording? You ordered the scene completed. I ordered you to secure it. I did. Chief Samuel Price entered through the main doors, his overcoat open, phone in hand, breathing hard. Unlock that room. Mercer raised the verification page. Chief, we were given incomplete information. Price looked through the glass at Lena, then at the cuffs on the shelf. You were given her identification. She was non-compliant. She asked for a wheelchair ramp to be cleared. Briggs's face lost color. Price turned to Page. Door! Page pressed the release. The lock clicked, but Lena did not step out. Commissioner, Price said, I am deeply sorry. Lena looked toward the property bin. My folder first. Page carried it to the doorway. The damp speech card protruded from the cover. Tessa gave the command. All personnel, attention. Chairs scraped back. Boots struck tile. Jacob straightened beside the wall. Page stood rigid behind the counter. Even Mercer pulled his shoulders back. Briggs fumbled for the cuff key. It hit the metal tray. He picked it up and approached Lena. Ma'am, I can remove these. You will. His fingers shook so badly the key missed once, then again. Lena held out her wrists. The first cuff opened. A red band circled the skin beneath her silver watch. Briggs whispered, I didn't know who you were. Lena took the second hand free and folded both hands over the folder. You knew I asked a question. No one moved. Price lowered his gaze. Tessa's voice returned. Commissioner Whitaker, command is yours. Lena checked the wall clock. 6:28. My mother is still outside that memorial hall, she said. Before anyone explains this arrest, someone will clear that ramp, bring her inside, and tell her where I am. Price reached for his radio. Lena stopped him with one look. And no one edits a single word of what happened here. Price lifted his radio, but Lena spoke first. Use the recorded channel. He switched frequencies. Unit 12, clear the west ramp. Assist Eleanor Whitaker inside. Report when she is seated. Copy. Lena set the folder on the booking desk. The ruined speech card lay beside the untouched city seal, brown water spreading through her father's first line. No apologies yet. Price closed his mouth. Preserve everything. Page, freeze the property log. Lieutenant Holt, seal every report created after 5:30. Officer Ellis, keep your camera running. Mercer stepped forward. Commissioner, standard review requires. Standard review allowed my phone to be turned face down. A man entered with a case and 2 encrypted drives. Omar Bell, 36, the digital evidence specialist, wore glasses and moved quickly. Tessa sent me. Lena pointed to the terminals. Can anything be changed? Not after I isolate the network. Do it. Mercer blocked him. You need a case number. Omar opened the case. I have command authorization. I'm not collecting sides. He connected a drive. Screens dimmed, then filled with red preservation banners. Printers stopped. A fan spun in the server cabinet. Briggs stared at the lock icon over his report. That statement isn't complete. Then it cannot become complete without a record, Lena said. Page withdrew her hands from the keyboard. I saw the seal before she was placed in holding. When? Before 6:10. Did you read the name? Enough of it. Why close the folder? Page looked at Mercer. He said credentials did not change conduct. I said we would verify later, Mercer snapped. You also said to make the narrative consistent, Lena replied. Omar raised one finger. Transport audio is duplicated. No one touched the radio console. Lena removed her silver watch and placed it beside the speech card. A red circle marked her wrist. Officer Ellis. Jacob stepped forward. Rain dried on his uniform. What did Sergeant Mercer tell you outside? Mercer cut in. He is probationary. He needs representation. He may request it. Jacob? He told me to describe you as advancing on Officer Briggs. Did I? No, ma'am. What did your camera record? You stepped back, then moved toward the shuttle when your mother called. That changed the threat picture, Mercer said. Jacob looked at him. She was going to her mother. The lights hummed. Were you ordered to stop recording? Lena asked. Sergeant Mercer reached for my camera. I stepped away. Price faced Mercer. Is that true? I was securing a scene. No, Jacob said. You were securing the story. Lena closed the folder, but left the city seal visible. Chief Price, place Briggs and Mercer on administrative leave pending review. No witness contact. No system access. Effective immediately. Briggs removed his badge with both hands. Mercer stayed still until Dana Holt held out an evidence envelope. The radio crackled. Commissioner, West Ramp is clear. Eleanor Whitaker is inside. Lena checked the clock. 6:34. Thank you. On Omar's screen appeared body camera. Ellis. Full recording. Lena studied the first frame, the shuttle's amber light entering the rain. Play it from there. The first frame froze on the shuttle's amber light. Rain hissed through the body camera speakers. Lena's recorded voice remained calm. Please move the vehicle. No one answered it. At 7:12 p.m., Inspector Naomi Feld entered, carrying a gray archive case. She was 44, compact, with close-cropped curls and a habit of tapping one fingernail against any page she distrusted. I pulled every complaint tied to Briggs and Mercer, she said. The originals, not the closure summaries. Price stayed near the door. How many? 8 against Briggs in 22 months. 5 began with someone questioning an officer. Naomi opened the first file. Yellow marker crossed one sentence. Subject's continued challenges required officers to restore control. She opened a second. The same words glowed beneath another name. By the 5th report, the phrase formed a bright line across the table. Jacob Ellis leaned closer. Different incidents, same wording. Mercer reviewed 4, Naomi said. Chief Price approved the 5th. Dry air from the vent lifted one corner of Lena's damp speech card. Price straightened. I approve hundreds of reports. Naomi slid him a spreadsheet. In March, you received an alert. Complaints involving attitude, disrespect, or failure to defer were 3 times the division average. I was told they were minor disputes. By whom? He did not answer. Lena removed her glasses and cleaned one lens against her cream turtleneck. Were any compared with video? No, they were recategorized before automatic review. As what? Service communication concerns. Omar turned from the monitor. That category allows footage deletion after 90 days. Jacob's fingers curled against the chair. So the older recordings are gone. Most, Omar said. Some dispatch audio survived. Price moved toward the table. I never ordered evidence destroyed. No one said you did, Lena replied. He stopped. Naomi opened another file. A 61-year-old bus driver had questioned a patrol car blocking a stop. His arrest was dismissed the next morning. At the bottom, someone had written, Citizen would benefit from more respectful communication. Lena read it twice. Whose handwriting? Price looked down. His shoulders lowered. Mine. The yellow marker lay beside his hand. He did not touch it. 12 similar closures carry your signature, Naomi said. Omar played an archived dispatch clip. Static filled the room, followed by a woman asking why she was being detained. Mercer's voice answered, "Because this conversation is over." Jacob turned away. Lena aligned the 5 reports until every yellow sentence remained visible. "Preserve all complaints," she said. "Reopen the dismissals. Contact each person without using anyone from this shift." Price raised his head. "And me?" "You will provide every memo, alert, and instruction you received." "Am I suspended?" "That follows the evidence." He sat without being asked. The chair creaked beneath him. Naomi closed the archive case but left one file outside. This arrived yesterday. The complaint named no officer. It described patrol cars repeatedly blocking the Memorial Hall's wheelchair ramp. 3 weeks later, the sentence appeared on a screen above the Civilian Commission. "Because this conversation is over." Lena sat at the witness table in her navy coat, her leather folder before her. Chairwoman Renee Alvarez, 62, wore a silver braid over one shoulder. "Ms. Chen, is this the complete recording?" Mia stood by the display. "From the moment I exited the hall until the cruiser left." "No edits?" "None." She pressed play. The screen showed Briggs beside the blocked ramp, Lena 6 feet away, and the shuttle turning the corner. "Please move the vehicle," Lena's recorded voice said. Briggs shifted in his seat. Mercer sat 2 chairs away with separate counsel. Neither wore a badge. The video continued. The order to step back, Lena obeying, Eleanor calling from the shuttle, then Briggs saying, "You keep talking back." A commissioner leaned forward. "Officer Briggs, what threat did those words describe?" Briggs stared at the paused image of Lena with her hands visible. She challenged every instruction. "Did she step back?" "Yes." "Did she shout, touch you, or block your path?" "No." Renee folded her glasses. "Then what were you controlling?" Briggs looked toward the audience. People from reopened complaints sat in the second row. The bus driver held his cap in both hands. "I thought her calmness was deliberate," Briggs said. "Deliberate how?" "Like she was showing everyone I couldn't make her submit." Lena did not move. Mia resumed the recording. "You should have stopped talking." The clerk's fingers froze above the keyboard. No paper moved. Even the camera operator lowered his hand. The silence lasted 6 seconds. Jacob Ellis was called next. He adjusted his tie 3 times before sitting. "Did Sergeant Mercer ask you to change your description?" Renee asked. "He told me to say Commissioner Whitaker advanced on Officer Briggs." "Had she?" "No." "Why did you first write unclear movement?" Jacob looked at Mercer. "I was probationary. He said officers who embarrassed the shift did not finish probation." Mercer leaned toward his attorney, but the attorney covered the microphone. Naomi Feld showed the repeated wording from 5 reports. Omar Bell confirmed that preserved audio contradicted 3. Each yellow line appeared until the pattern no longer looked accidental. Chief Price testified last. "I did not order false arrests." Lena opened the folder. The rain-stained speech card lay on top. "No," she said. "You made them easy to ignore." Price looked at the card. His answer never came. At 4:38 p.m., the commission returned. Briggs and Mercer were terminated for misconduct, false reporting, and witness interference. Jacob's probation record was cleared. Page received a suspension and retraining. Price stood before the microphones. "I signed closures I did not examine closely enough. Effective tonight, I resign." He removed his chief's pin and set it on the table. It landed with a small metallic click. Outside, reporters called Lena's name. She passed them and stopped beside the bus driver. "I should have spoken sooner," he said. "You came today." He nodded once. Behind them, workers removed the old complaint category sign. 4 clean screw holes remained. 4 clean screw holes remained in the wall when Lena returned to Central Precinct the next morning. At 7:03 a.m., the conference room smelled of paint, burnt coffee, and damp coats. The old complaint sign lay face down. Tessa Morgan placed a draft policy before her. The legal team called it the Whitaker Standard. Lena uncapped a pen. No. It would explain why this exists. It would suggest this mattered only because of who I am. Across the table, Dr. Malcolm Avery, 50, a public mediation specialist with a gray beard who turned his wedding ring while listening, nodded. "What should it be called?" he asked. Lena drew one line through her surname. The paper rasped beneath the pen. Then she wrote 2 words above it. "Dignity first." "Everyone gets the same protection," she said, "whether they carry a command credential, a bus pass, or nothing." Tessa read the first section. "Verbal disagreement alone cannot establish obstruction, resistance, or disorderly conduct." "Add that silence cannot be treated as consent," Malcolm said. "Why?" "Because some people stop speaking when they believe no answer will be heard." The bus driver from the hearing sat near the window as a civilian advisor, his cap on both knees. "That's what I did," he said. "After the second officer arrived, I stopped explaining." Lena wrote the sentence into the margin. By 9:20, they reached video preservation. Omar Bell projected the retention system onto the wall. Any low-level arrest can trigger a lock before a supervisor edits the report. "Same shift supervisor?" Tessa asked. "No," Lena said. "Different shift. No shared chain of command." A patrol captain frowned. "That delays closure." "It delays concealment," Naomi Feld replied. "You're designing policy around one bad night," the captain said. Naomi slid 12 reopened files toward him. "No," Lena said. "We are correcting what repeated for years." Only the projector fan answered. At noon, Lena walked to the memorial hall with Malcolm and the city access inspector. Fresh stripes marked the west ramp, and a steel post blocked vehicles. "Your mother coming today?" Malcolm asked. "She said she would wait for the proper ceremony." "You could hold it next week." Lena looked through the doors at her father's photograph in the lobby. "No, we finish the work first." Back at headquarters, she signed the final order before officers and civilian observers. "Training begins Monday," she said. "Complaint data becomes public each month. Low-level arrests receive outside review. Body camera files lock automatically. Accessible entrances become part of every patrol inspection." An officer raised his hand. "What if someone keeps arguing after a lawful order?" "You explain the order." "And if they still disagree?" "You remember that disagreement is not danger." No applause followed. Lena had not asked for any. She capped the pen and pushed the order toward Tessa. The title "Dignity First" sat above the black line where her own name had been. Outside, workers mounted a new notice beside the entrance. 6 months later, that same doorway would open again for Eleanor Whitaker, and this time nothing would stand between her chair and the first row. 6 months later, at 5:40 p.m., Eleanor Whitaker's wheelchair rolled up the west ramp without slowing. No patrol car covered the painted access lane. A steel post guarded the curb cut, and a plaque beside the door showed the date of that morning's inspection. Lena walked at her mother's left side, one hand near the chair but never pushing unless Eleanor asked. "You're early," Eleanor said. "I learned what happens when I trust the schedule." That almost sounded like a joke. Almost. Warm spring light filled the memorial lobby. Mia Chen waited beside the doors. She had since joined the city's accessibility board. Jacob Ellis, a permanent officer assigned to community response, checked the ramp log before taking his seat. He met Lena's eyes. Clear from curb to stage. Thank you, Officer Ellis. He straightened, then allowed himself a small smile. The ceremony began at 6. Lena placed her worn leather folder on the lectern and removed the speech card that had fallen into muddy water. The stains still crossed the first paragraph. She had been offered a clean copy, but she unfolded the old one. My father believed a public door was only public if everyone could enter it, she said. Eleanor lowered her head. Mia stopped recording and simply listened. Lena finished every line she had promised to read. When applause rose, she stepped down, placed the card in her mother's hands, and waited while Eleanor traced the dried rain marks with one finger. He would have kept this, Eleanor said. So will I. 3 months earlier, the review board had upheld the dismissals of Nolan Briggs and Kyle Mercer. Briggs entered a year-long civilian accountability program and wrote Lena a letter accepting responsibility without asking for reinstatement. Mercer appealed, lost, and was barred from supervisory police work in the state. Samuel Price's resignation remained permanent. He assisted an independent audit that reopened 12 complaints. Paige Larkin completed retraining and returned under probation. Lena answered none of it with celebration. At the monthly oversight meeting, she said only, "Consequences are not revenge. They are part of the record." The record had changed. Every low-level arrest now triggered outside shift review. Body camera files locked automatically. Complaint statistics appeared each month. Officers practiced explaining lawful orders without treating questions as threats. Civilian observers could request audits, and accessibility checks became part of patrol inspections. Naomi Feld's first report showed fewer disorderly conduct arrests and more documented warnings. Omar Bell found no missing footage during the first quarter. Malcolm Avery's training sessions began with 6 seconds of silence, the length of the pause after Briggs's words played at the hearing. After the ceremony, Lena and Eleanor returned to the ramp. Guests drifted toward the parking lot, their voices soft in the evening air. Jacob held the door for a man using a walker, then moved aside without being asked. Eleanor touched Lena's wrist where the cuff mark had faded. Does it still hurt? Sometimes. The wrist? Lena looked through the open doorway at her father's photograph. No. She placed the rain-stained card back inside the leather folder. The west entrance remained open behind them, bright and unobstructed. Nothing stood in the way. Have you ever seen someone's dignity dismissed because an authority figure mistook questions for defiance? Share what happened in the comments, especially if one witness, recording, or quiet act of courage changed the outcome. Pass this story to someone who believes justice should protect ordinary people before their status is known. Stories like Lena's matter, because accountability is not only about one apology or one dismissal. It is about changing the rules that allowed the harm to happen. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, and people who turn painful moments into lasting reform. Your voice, your experience, and your willingness to pay attention may help another person feel less alone.